Welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
And remember, our goal is always to guide you to personal and financial wellness.
Well, thank you for returning to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. Hopefully you guys are actually sticking around on this fine Saturday, every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., where we get to share with you so much more than just real estate and finance, but also a lot about your community with some of the best professionals you can find. And we put together a group for you because you don't know what you don't need until you need it. From America's Professional Resource Group, aprgi.com. aprgi.com is the best professionals we can find in all Santa Cruz and beyond by basically interviewing the best for 7 years. That's how you find the best. So we put them together for you. Want real estate attorneys, financial attorneys, college planners, estate planners, insurance planners.
But the most important part about that, Don, is that they all work in unison. We work as a team. We understand how each other works. We know what each other's strategies are. So when we share each other's strategies, we're working in unison to make sure that you get to your end goal.
Yeah.
Ultimately, one of the things that's difficult when you're dealing with multiple professionals is not all of them have the same strategies. Not all of them understand how the other works.
Yeah, it's nice when ours talks to one talks to the other. Go, you can't do that because I need to do that first.
Yeah.
And you would have messed that up if you did that way.
Wait, that might cause a tax problem. Don't do that. How do we do this? Yeah.
All right. So again, America's Professional Resource Group, your local resource group, aprgi.com. Now we're back with Bill Dallas, CEO of Skyline Home Loans. And what's really nice is Bill does not have a governor. He's going to tell you like it is. And I love that about you, man. That's why we love you as our CEO, because you're a real person. You're a real guy. We love you as our CEO and friend. I mean, you become one of us. You just joined our holiday picture of all things. But it's nice to hear straight, what's really happening instead of, gosh, I get tired, as you do. So when the CEO's going, well, I am the owner and our company, be real. And that's why we want you to help a lot of our consumers and our listeners understand where the market is now, because there's a lot of media that we beat up on every day on the National Real Estate Cafe, our daily video blog, with BS. It's all the same media will tell you one side of the story, and with the same one tell the other from the same station.
Well, the negative media sells, right?
Exactly.
The noise, right? And so a lot of times you hear ignore the noise, and that's what you have to do is ignore the noise. And it's not one size fits all. And I think that's the problem with the media is they say it's all good or it's all bad. Well, no, listen, more millions are made when things are bad than when they're good. So it's good for someone.
Or when they dissect just the pieces they want to tell you to scare you. Diana Roy just had a thing where she went out and picked apart this Florida survey, and she only picked out all the negative things for purchasing versus renting and didn't add in appreciation, principal reduction, and that rent may go up or anything. So she was saying rent's better than purchasing. Are you kidding me? We were just talking about that. So from your eyes, being in this industry as long as you have, being a market leader in our industry, where do you feel we're at? And isn't real estate a great investment?
It's like a Swami will look, when
we got
love this. Please tell me, Bill.
He's pointing at our crystal ball that has been pretty much dead on for 6.5 years now.
Yeah, I think the way to think about it, real estate as an asset class, I don't think our consumer doesn't get there sometimes that way, right? They sort of, I need a house. So they're demand driven, right? A first-time home buyer, they get out of college, they then get a job, they then potentially relocate somewhere, then they find a spouse or a partner, somebody to merge with, and then they may have a child. Well, that component has been delayed a little bit just out of just the way the world's rolling. I think that plus the market shift and this discussion around what you just said about is our homes the right investment, right?
Right.
And I think if we take a step back, I think the way a consumer should think about it is, and I'm a constitutional lawyer by trade, right? So I don't do this very often, do you guys? But if you think about the government really putting all of its weight, not behind what I would say would be the Constitution or the Bill of Rights, but if you took the one other component that the federal government pretty much anointed years ago, it was housing.
Right.
And housing is the fabric that, when it's woven together properly, keeps American society as a society and makes it different and makes communities like Santa Clarita or Valencia. I mean, you take these little areas, I'm getting chills talking about it. I mean, it's like, it is the difference maker. And what I dislike about the media and the way we talk about it is we sort of take it and we throw it away like, oh, okay, hey, why don't we buy gold? Well, look, I'm a consumer. What am I going to do with gold? What am I going to do with silver? What am I going to do with stocks? I mean, people worry about stocks. They don't own any.
Well, yeah.
I mean, people don't own stocks. They may have something in their 401k. But the challenge for Americans really is, how do you accumulate wealth? Right?
I love where you're going.
Right? And wealth is really the difference maker. If you're a 20-year-old and you're going to be my age at 60, right, where you've now lived for 40 years, the common denominator of anybody who has any wealth at all, or is not a ward of the state at that age, is they have real estate. And they have consistently owned it and managed it well. I think all that's happened from 2008 on is, to the consumer, they went, oh my God, real estate could go down. Well, it can, but it only has the event that you just went through as consumers when it went up almost uninterrupted for 30 years, right? And then it had to fall a little. Well, as you guys were saying before, where is it? Well, look, today, I think you're back to baseline.
Right.
Well, and so what we were talking about, and we talked about on the National Real Estate Cafe the other day, is that you're back to baseline today, but it's been a decade of 2% inflation. So that means we're actually 20% below where we should be if you inflation adjust it. So there's room to run.
Well, and if you looked at, I mean, if you took the stock market or interest rates or any of these things and you just charted, and just two things, right? Optimism and pessimism. Where are you, right? Well, I think you were very pessimistic about, I mean, the stock market today, I think, is oversold, and people have been overly optimistic on that for a long period of time. So it is at a top of the heap, potentially ready to go down, to be pessimistic again. Every asset class is cyclical that way.
Well, look at oil, right? I mean,
Has to be.
Oil just got beat up. I mean, does anybody even talk about $200 oil anymore?
So now what you've got, I think the great thing about the three components of the stool that have to work for homes to be increasing in value almost always go in concert. And that's jobs. Home price appreciation comes with that, or what we don't have today are a lot of listings, right? So you don't have inventory. And then interest rates have to be low. And I think you're going to be in a period of great jobs, improving job market, low interest rates for a long period of time, right? Even with the Fed change and everything that you're seeing. And then if you looked at the stock market, right, could be oversold, but if you looked at and you plotted real estate on that same chart, right, you would say that real estate is really getting close to just being optimistic.
We agree.
Right?
That's what we've been saying, too.
And I look at, I mean, for your consumer, they always look at, three little anecdotal things that I look at to say, when are we back to normal? Well, the new normal is that, there's still 40% of the homes are being sold for cash. So that's not normal. A normal market would be zero cash, right? Because consumers need leverage, right? So I think when you look at this single-family rental and flipping, you don't have 10 to 15% of your market ever in California being non-owner occupied flips. That'll go away, and you're going to see consumers sell their house to buy another. We're going to have a contingent sale. To a realtor, you realtors listening, right? What's the problem, right? I have to sell. In any market in the United States, you have to frickin' sell your house to buy the other one. Well, that's going to start happening.
It is happening right now.
And you need a pre-qual from Skyline. You need a pre-qual from your loan officer. You need to qualify yourself. And consumers, they may be a bit dented from this experience, right? They may not be. We have the great news, I think, is pure vanilla, 30-year fixed, everybody at 800 FICO score, everybody with great income's over.
Right.
We're now into what we do as mortgage bankers, which is why I like this business so much, which is you just get people, normal people, have to buy homes. Well, normal people got credit problems. They got children. They got issues, right? And these issues, we have to figure out guidelines, rules, and that is really what I do. I mean, I've designed, built the 100% product. I mean, consumers need leverage, and they need a little expansion in guidelines and rules so it fits them. And if you think about this, it's been 75 years since we've made any adjustment to any federal
No doubt.
guideline. Well, suddenly, I mean, you've got Caitlyn Jenner, for criminy sakes. I mean, you've got borrowers who've totally changed, not only physically, but just in different jobs. I mean, it's uncanny what a loan officer, what my team, what you guys have to do to get a loan done. How frightening is that at times?
In fact,
Well,
Don, let's talk a
whoa.
little bit about that when we
Whoa.
get back, because we'll touch a little bit on self-employed borrower, because that's the one that's most impacted by this. So when we
Well,
come
and
back,
we'll also talk about how we're helping you with the dream of home ownership, because it is the best investment strategy you can even find. We'll talk more about that and how possibly this new tax reform could affect you. When we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show, don't go away. The second half is the best half.
Don't leave.
We'll be right back.